What's up guys, and welcome to the first video, and here we are going to be talking about the squeeze page, what it does and how we can make a successful one. Our squeeze page is really important because this is where we are going to be getting the fuel for our engine. This process isn't too difficult once you fully understand how a squeeze page is supposed to work. So let's get started. So what's a concept of a squeeze page? What does it do? Quite simple, honestly. This is where people are going to exchange their emails for the free product. That's it. That is your main goal for your squeeze page, is get their email. And how will you be getting their emails? Just by them submitting their information. The squeeze page should have two things: an attention grabbing headline and a submit form where they could enter their email, and there the email will transfer to your autoresponder and you will have access to email this person whenever you want. Awesome. And your squeeze page just has to be simple. You don't need any crazy designs whatsoever. That's basically what a squeeze page does. So let's go more into detail on the success of the squeeze page. So you'll see right here, this squeeze page, this is a great example of a squeeze page that I just made up real quick, and it's just plain and simple. There's no crazy designs everywhere. It's just a big headline and a simple squeeze page and a submit form for your audience to submit their emails. You don't want to add too many submit forms because you don't know your audience. They might get too lazy to submit their emails. Too lazy to submit their names, address, or whatever. You just want to add an email form so they could just submit their emails and just get their free product. You want to make it as easy as possible so you could get more subscribers as possible. So this is basically what you need for a squeeze page. It's really not that hard. You just need to have a good headline. Remember, great headlines make most of your squeeze page, and something very simple. Not much work. Our headline. The headline is the most important thing on your squeeze page. Without question, if you don't have a great headline, then you are not going to be getting any people signing up. Simple as that. So you have to make sure you write a great headline for your squeeze page. And here I listed a couple tips to writing a great headline. Your headline should be ultra specific. By this I mean be as precise as possible when you are describing the product you are giving away. So for example, if you are giving away the ebook I gave you, here would be a bad example for a headline. Person makes 1,000 a week with YouTube. It sounds so dull, so boring. Instead, use this: newbie makes $1,934 a week using nothing but free traffic, YouTube traffic on 100% autopilot. You see the difference? I'm being as specific as possible. That makes a huge difference. Make sure you are doing this or your headline will fail. Next thing is that you want to be unique. Take some chances, be different from all the other headlines out there. Next one is using numbers. Once again, quite simple, add numbers to your headline. The next thing is creating a sense of urgency. By that, make it time sensitive so that this is the only available for a limited time. Stuff like that. This makes people act. It's quite amazing. Honestly, people are more afraid of loss of a great offer than anything else. So create that sense of urgency. And there's so much more things you can do to create your great headline. Go to Google and search up how to write great headlines or stuff like that. You could find lots and lots of information out there. It's amazing. So those are the key essentials to writing a great headline that will make your squeeze page successful. Hope I didn't overwhelm you there. So let's move on to the next part. So right here in front of me, I got a perfect example of a bad headline, and it simply states: person makes $1,000 a week using YouTube. Alright, first of all, you don't want your headlines to be that short, because if you have it that short, people are going to just look at your page like it's some type of spam page. So obviously you want to make it a little bit longer, but not to a point where you're going to confuse them, and don't write a whole paragraph basically. So the first thing, it says person. Alright, well, what kind of person? What kind of person is he describing? Or you gotta be more specific. Is it a newbie? Is it a normal person? Or is it just an expert? This person, the person who's looking at your squeeze page would be like wondering what type of person, what if he's an expert? So you gotta be specific in this. and $1,000 a week. Obviously, he didn't make exactly $1,000 a week, so try being more specific. Did he make $1,100, $1,225? Be specific as possible. And then using YouTube, all right? Using YouTube and doing what? You want to be as specific as possible. Don't if you're not if you read your headline and you feel like you fully haven't explained everything, then you gotta redo your headline. Be as specific as possible. It doesn't matter. Just bring it down to the smallest detail. So that's a good example of a bad headline, and here's a great example of a good headline. Discover how a newbie made $1,093.44 a week using nothing but free targeted YouTube traffic on 100% autopilot. And there's your submit form. I mean, look at that. It's not a full paragraph. I told you, like, I don't want you don't want to make a full paragraph, but just make it pretty lengthy. And the reason why it's going to be lengthy is because you're being very descriptive, and the more descriptive you are, the more the merrier. You got to be descriptive. Like, once again, I mentioned, you're describing a newbie. You're not describing an expert. You're describing a newbie here. You're not saying discover how a person made 1,000. You're describing a newbie, and you're once again $1,000 a week, and this is $1,093.44 a week. So it's being specific and using free targeted YouTube traffic on 100% autopilot. So that's as specific as possible as you can get. So remember, when you're writing your headlines, be specific as possible. Be unique. And just remember, add numbers as well. Numbers, people like seeing numbers on headlines for some reason. It's just how we work. And just be specific. The most important thing is just being specific as possible. And most likely you'll write a great headline. So, if you want more tips and tricks to write great headlines, all you gotta do is simply go to Google. You'll find lots of information there. So what you're going to be searching is something related. How to write great headlines, headline writing, or anything simple like that. And look at all this different information, all this resources you can use to help you write your own headline. Of course, I can't mention every single tip and trick I mentioned, but if you head over to Google, you'll find lots of information here. And look at all these free resources they give you. Look at that. Grab all this and use it towards your headline writing. One of these days you're gonna have to do research yourself. So remember, always look for Google. You'll find many resources on almost anything you need to know on the internet. That's why we gotta use the internet for all our resources. We have to use it for everything. And look at that. How to write catchy headlines. Use numbers, interesting adjectives, unique rationale. Just Google. Do your own. You gotta do your own research sometimes too. So 19 headline writing tips. Just numbers, digits, and lists. That was one of the few tips I mentioned. And just remember, you'll find lots of information here that anyone else could give you. So I'll always go to Google and just try to look for information yourself as well. Our squeeze page design, it's really quite simple. We just need a simple design like a white background or a gray background. That's it. You don't need all these crazy designs or anything. No, just something plain and simple. All we want to do is grab our audience emails, and that's it. We don't want to distract them from all the crazy designs we have on our squeeze page. It just makes them read the headline and sign up. I listed a good example and a bad example. As you see, the one on the left, it's quite plain and simple. No crazy designs, just the headline and the opt-in form where people will be submitting their email for their free product. Another one has a crazy background and all these different headlines. It's just madness. You want something simple. Alright, now that we have that done, let's move on to the next step. The thank you page. This page is quite simple. You don't have to put much thought into it. You just have to congratulate them for downloading their product and that their free product will be available in their email within seconds. Just give them basic instructions on what to do after they have signed up. You can also give them instructions on how to whitelist your emails so that your emails don't land in their spam folders, but make sure you give them a reason to do that. You just don't want them to tell them to do that for no reason. Tell them to do that because you will be sending them lots of valuable content and stuff like that. Just make sure you have one, because if people sign up and don't see another page pop up, they'll be left wondering what happened. So the thank you page should be really take you much time. Just give them a heads up and a couple things you'd like them to do, and give them reasons to. Alright, so that much pretty clears it up. Let's just review what we have learned here today. Alright, so like I mentioned, you just want to keep your thank you page very plain and simple. Just put a congratulations, check your email to get your free product, and that's basically it. You don't have to do really anything crazy with this, because people are just gonna look at your thank you page for a little bit, and then once they see that you have to check their email for their free product, they're just obviously gonna close this tab or just simply go to the email right away. So don't make it too complicated. Just tell them your free products in your email, and give them instructions if you want them to do something after. And you could talk about yourself too. If you want to introduce yourself right there, you can introduce yourself in your thank you page. But once again, remember, you're gonna want to introduce yourself in your first email as well, but we'll get later on into that. So just keep the thank you page plain and simple. You don't have to go too crazy. Just put something like congratulations, check your email to get your free product, and just put an image of your product, or just something, just don't make it too plain, but that's all you want to do. So our squeeze page is basically where we're going to be getting the fuel for our engine. So it's crucial that you have a great and high converting squeeze page, and it consists of one thing really, and that is your headline. You want to write a headline that grabs your audience's attention, so they'll be wanting that free product so much that they sign up for it. And your squeeze page has to be simple, just a headline and the opt-in box, and remember, have a thank you page. That pretty much wraps it up for the squeeze pages. Just remember, take most of your time thinking of your headline. That is what will make or break your squeeze page, and most importantly, your business. Alright, we pretty much cleared everything from there, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.